So, you know, me and another one of our auntie friends sitting at a bar downtown decided to go and, have a couple of drinks. And we were sitting outside. And there were two uncles. Didn't know them. They were sitting at the table next to us, smoking some cigars. And they were having a discussion. So we sat out. We were like, hey, how you doing? So they looked over at us and said, hey, do y'all mind answering a question about a discussion that we're having? We're like, no, go ahead. He said, do you consider yourself a modern woman or a traditional woman? And so we're like, okay, so what do you mean by that? He's like, I'm not going to tell you what we think it means. Just give me your answers. So I immediately was like, I'm a modern woman. I am not traditional. It has a lot to do with my upbringing. My mom was a stay-at-home mom. She worked in the home only. Her husband worked. She had to cook, clean, take care of the kids, have dinner ready. He came home. He did the so-called traditional gender roles of the 50s, like Leave It to Beaver, June Cleaver, and those type of roles where he worked outside the home, brought home the money, got the big piece of chicken, basically discipline and be distant from your kids, whatever those traditional gender roles were. And I was like, oh, immediately, I am not like that at all. So I'm a modern woman.
At all. Okay.
And I was surprised at the answers from the other auntie I was with. And then there was another person that worked there, a server that brought the drinks out, and she got roped into the conversation too. Slightly younger, probably different, would you say earlier, economic status, but some of the similar answers. But he said a lot of women aren't as honest as you and say modern. They'll say something else, but they're really not traditional. And I was like, oh, that's not true. But then when I heard the other answers, I was like, oh, well, maybe some women aren't as enlightened about their own role in their relationship. Auntie, look, we just talking. We didn't introduce ourselves. We didn't tell nobody what we drinking on.
Not everybody knows who we are, but it's okay.
All 102 of our followers know who we are. So,
well, I'm Shay.
I'm Jay, also known as Lola Howard.
Auntie guy.
Toast up.
Ooh, I got my sweet rum drink.
I have some bourbon.
Oh,
I'm trying to be grown with my little head wrap on.
You fancy today. Maybe the lines get blurred. Maybe it's all in your interpretation of what that traditional versus modern means to you. Like you said, your upbringing makes you think of it one way, where somebody else's might make them think of it a different way. Or maybe
you would be.
Ooh. Off top, I would say I'm modern. And for many of the same reasons that you said, coming up with similar backgrounds, and just thinking of it even in more personal terms, like since I've gotten grown, relationships I've had and things like that, when you start thinking about what do you think a woman should be doing versus what a man should be doing, the world is different right now. So if I were to think what I think traditional means, it's that, you take care of the home as a woman, you primarily take care of the kids, but you also make sure you know your place and you're subservient to that man, because he's not just getting a big piece of chicken, he's king of the castle. And that brings along with it so many different things than what it might have brought along with it 20, 30, 40 years ago, because the world is different. Women's place in society is different. So, it's kind of hard to think just black and white when it comes to traditional versus modern.
Okay.
The context of that person.
Okay.